settled long ago. And the records clear today. For it washed my sins away. When the old account was settled long ago. Yes, the old account was settled long ago.
You know, I had this big keys in here. Every time my guitar would hit, my pants would come a little further down. I better take them off. You know, I really appreciate my brother Carl Crane. And when I think about Carl, I think about the first time that I met him. We were working down in Barrows at the jam down there, and we was packing up after everything, and Carl and I were loading stuff into different vehicles, and he says, "Kenny, you know, I'm in the initial stages of Alzheimer's," and I just about dropped the speaker. You know, I said, "What?" You know, and he said, "Yeah." He said, "That's what the doctor says. I think it's from hauling uranium all those years." He says, I just ended up like that." And I says, "Well, how are you gonna keep going like as a gospel singer?" He said, "Well, the Lord gave me a voice to sing, and He gave me that gift of singing." He said, "And I'm going to keep doing it as long as He lets me do it." And boy, I walked away from that and that encounter with him, and I thought, "Whoa, that's kind of awesome." And I watched him. You know, that particular summer, we actually had 10 gigs together. You know, the same places. We didn't plan it that way, but it just was that way. You know, he was there, I was there. You know, and next place, "Oh, you're here again." You know, and it was just kind of like that. And I watched him, you know, and sometimes he'd get on, he loaded up with those meds, you know, and he'd forget things, forget the words. If it got too loud, you know. I remember one time in Thompson, it was getting really loud. It just kind of frazzled him, you know. And it was, you know, I thought, "Oh man, this Alzheimer's is getting to you." But he kept going and he kept going and he just wouldn't quit. And then, boy, he gave me a call one time and he says, "You wouldn't believe it." He says, "The other day, you know, my specialist called. Says he needed to see me right away." And so, boy, when a specialist says he needs to see you right away, that's not usually good news, is it, Gary Kibbers? That's not good news. So he hustled down to the surgeon's office there, that specialist, and the guy says, "I think we might have got it wrong. You know, PTSD and Alzheimer's, the symptoms are very similar." He said, "And I think we misdiagnosed you." Well, 10 years ago, they had pulled his license on him. I mean, and Kathy was his driver everywhere he went. And first thing he did, boy, straight down to Saskatchewan Registry, "Give me my license," you know. And he wouldn't let anybody else drive for the next month, you know. But that was just the way it was. I watched him. And his approach, I asked him about it. You know, what's it going to be like now after having this huge thing about misdiagnosis and just kind of not destroying but radically altering the last 10 years of life. And how's he going to approach things now? Same thing. You know, God gave me a voice to sing, and I'm going to keep on doing it as long as He lets me. We learned this song from him, and Millie's going to sing it for us. Oh, I'm not that far. Yeah, okay, I was out of it.
And don't worry about this heavy load I carry. Don't be concerned if it sends me to my knees. For I know a place where all my load will lighten. I'll be alright soon as I touch Calvary. If my people have faith, can only reach up through this dark and dreary storm of unbelief. It feels slippery, still starting into mine. I'll be alright soon as I touch Calvary. Very soon I'll reach the hill of Golgotha. I'll touch that cross that was fashioned from a tree. With just one drop of His precious blood touches me, I'll be alright soon as I touch Calvary. If my people had the faith, can only reach up through this dark and dreary storm of unbelief. If this sickness now starting into mine, I'll be alright soon as I touch Calvary. I'll be alright soon as I touch Calvary.
All right, this song we did it first night, and we had a request. Malachi wanted to hear it again, so we put it on again. It's a song about freedom and this whole this revival time. These special meetings are geared around that freedom that Jesus offers, and I just appreciate that. This song talks about that and looking at just the way that when a person is shackled and the chains are broken.
Can you see it?
same old voice, tell the same old lie. You've been trying to fill those empty holes inside. Well, there's a better life. Yeah, there's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. I'll search for a light of day in the dead of night. We've all found ourselves worn out from the same old fight. We've all run the things we know just ain't right. But there's a better life. Yeah, there's a better life. You got pain, he's a pain taker. You feel lost, he's a way maker. You need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. You got chains, he's a chain breaker. You believe it, you receive it. If you can't feel it, somebody testify. You believe it, you receive it. If you can't feel it, somebody testify. If you believe it, you receive it. If you can't feel it, somebody testify. You got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. You need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. One more time. You got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. You need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker.
Jack and Moses today, and And she fed me fried bologna. And it's just making my mouth really dry. Macaroni and bologna tonight. But that was really good, Mouse.
Call it tube stick. It's a stick.
Okay, Gary.
Tube.
Okay.
Rejoice in the Lord.
This last song we do here is one called Roses Will Bloom Again. It talks about a resurrection. And I think about that, and when we think, somebody asked me the other day, is there anything wrong with cremation? What does the Bible say? And I said, well, the Bible doesn't say hardly anything about that. But it's the motivation that some people have, If I get my body all burned, scatter my ashes to the 12 ends of the earth, God will never find me. There ain't going to be no resurrection. Well, that's no problem for God. Because every one of us is destined to be resurrected. Every one of us will someday stand before God. Hebrews 9:27 says, it is appointed unto man once to die, but after this, the judgment when we face God. And when I think about this, I just think about the whole theme of resurrection, and it's a good one. Buds begin to blossom, its sweet fragrance fill the air. But when winter came, it withered, the petals drooped and fell to the ground. My heart sank as it faded, for I forgot who had made it. Oh, yeah. And he said, roses will bloom again. Just wait and see. Don't know what might have been. Only God knows how it went by. Roses will bloom again. Rose was his only sweetheart, a loving one of 40 years, cherished every day they had, and those memories dear. He never dreamed he'd bury love, go on to live alone. When he laid his rose to rest, he looked to heaven and tried his best to believe that roses will bloom again. Just wait and see. No more what might have been. Only God knows how it went by. Roses will bloom
Satan cheered us down, while Mary and the others cried. But God raised him up and still, and kept a promise only he could keep. And he said that roses will bloom again. Just wait and see. Don't know what might have been. Only God knows how it went, but roses will bloom again. How many